Rolling.
Alright, so here we are at Apocalypse Labs. Today we are having a workshop on building with fibercrete, and we're building a primary pond basin that's going to catch rainwater off of this awning over my head. And we've got 470 pounds of concrete. I mean, not concrete, cement. 470 pounds of Portland cement plus another couple hundred pounds stored in the garage. And got the area preliminarily laid out. And so I'm going to start off doing some paper shredding for the fibercrete. And this will be the first time that we do fibercrete using straight cement. We've been using concrete and mortar to really super great success. Ravens are cawing in the background, and looks to be a hot day today. So now the pond system that we're putting in is designed to catch a load gallons of water and store it in a convenient system that we will label also to be, we'll be able to put some fish and some other stuff in there. And it's all part of the slow the flow, capture and hold. As the program goes on, we'll have overs explaining the permaculture principles that are applying particularly to the construction method or the building method that we're doing. Right now there's produce no waste because we're building out of garbage, and we're using a lot of the undesirable garbage that you can't recycle back into waiting for the bus to go by, that you can't recycle back into the gardenscape as far as food production. This includes phone books, glossy magazines, glossy cardboard, undesirable metals such as aluminum. Well, capture and store energy, catch and hold water, it goes on and on and on. Okay, thanks everybody for showing up to this event. We're kind of short of number here, so instead I'm going to lecture on how to start the basic basin of a pond, and then we're going to finish out one of the structures that have already been started. So here, when you're doing a pond basin, you want to make sure that the one thing that you use is the ground, and you just dig as you need, deep as you need to dig. For example, this I want to be a 6-foot deep basin, so I'm going to dig down 2 feet, come up, and build a 4-foot tall wall, which will be about here. We'll wrap it in fibercrete. Any questions? Kind of about that way. No wider than 2 inches. shoot between 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches. And the reason we use a brush saw for shredding the paper versus a hand saw is these are designed to cut through hardwood, so they cut through the paper fiber of the phone book really quick, and they produce, if there was cutting wood, I'd produce sawdust, and in cutting the paper, in cutting the paper, we produce one of the most integral components to fibercrete, and that's paper dust. So the fibercrete is comprised of this stuff, thin strands of paper, and thick strands of paper, all combined into one, not just any one universal form. The paper breaks down in the cement mixing anyway, so the other reason for the bush saw is you're not dealing with powered equipment. So if you notice that my dreadlocks might have fallen, into the stroke, I don't have to worry about a whirling blade sucking the dreadlock in. Secondly, I'm not using any power. Thirdly, get uniform. Basically, you can get uniform overall cuts. You have a lot more control over the saw blade. You can move slow or fast. The paper doesn't care. It cuts and shreds the same. We use the big one for big phone books, and I'm trying to find the little one. Got a little black one that we use for little phone books. The integral part of the paper in the cement or concrete or mortar is it replaces rebar. That's the #1 factor. I've been building with this stuff for a couple of years now, and I've never used rebar at all. Any wall that's of a foot thickness or greater has a few tons of rebar put into it. So in replacing the metal component with reused wood fiber, which is proving to be more resilient, we're saving a lot of stress from the planet building this way. And Mike Reynolds first realized this way back in the late 60s, early 70s, before permaculture was even a thing, and he started building this way to relieve the stress from the planet. And it's more cost effective. These are free. You can pick up phone books from people's houses like no tomorrow. Like if you ask somebody, hey, you got any phone books you want to get rid of? They got like 40 or 50 of them if they haven't been recycling. And as you can see, this here's about 2 phone books, fills the bin. And I got about 1 more phone book or half a phone book to shred before we're at the volume capacity for doing a mix, which is by volume, not by weight. 80% paper, 20% cement. This bucket of paper will be for 1, possibly 2 47-pound bags of cement. At the volume ratio of 80% paper, 20% cement.
Okay, 2.5 phone books.
2 to 3 phone books shredded. At that volume ratio, if you figure the math of 10 bags of cement and you increase it by 80%, then you now have 18 bags of cement. You almost double it. The more bags of cement that you have, And that's kind of a crude, loose way of looking at it, but like I said before, I've worked with this for a number of years, and it's proving to be true. The more paper that you put in to the cement, the further the cement goes, the more application you get out of it, and you don't have to go as thick to get a stronger yield. In this sequence of video, here is being demonstrated the finishing out of the pond. The 3 other participants who were involved that did not wish to be filmed and I were taking turns smoothing fibercrete into the bottom, and here I'm demonstrating how to do a paper patch in a point that's shallow and needs to be backfilled, and smoothing the fibercrete out. When doing the finishing out part of the fibercrete, it's the more you work the fibercrete, the worse off it is. So as soon as it's applied and it is sticks and it is not sloughing or schlumping, then continue to move on. Oh my God, I'm running out of steam. Ugh. Doing this kind of work requires a certain kind of fuel. So if you would, Margaret, please call the Rita and order us a pie, because I need to get by to get this job done.
Calling Pizza Rita!
So here we are. Thanks to Margaret's call out to the Rita. Lovely Alex here is delivering us a nice, beautiful, what do we got here?
5-pounder.
Oh, awesome. This is the pie that fuels Bruce-Ruhl design, courtesy of Pizza-Rita. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Thank you very much, Alf.
Appreciate it. So, whenever you're in need, call the Rita indeed.